The point of the community hub is to provide a warm space for everybody to come in and have some hot food, some hot drinks, some sandwiches, crisps, play some games and get to know each other in the community really, and just be that open drop-in space for people in the community to come. As long as people are coming down, we'll keep it going. Foundation 92 is a charity set up by Class 92 in 2018, and we're the official charity of Salford City FC. So we run programmes in the community across Salford and Greater Manchester, from early years programmes up until elderly programmes like walking football. We have dementia-friendly walking football. We have school programmes, outreach. We help with trying to prevent ASB among young people in the community. So basically our programmes span across a complete range for anybody in the community, and what we aim to do is to try and support anybody with any issue that they might be struggling with in the community, to see if we can help them and provide that safe space for them and that voice in the community or somebody to listen to. Really, the community's been really receptive, particularly the Jewish community around here. We run a lot of different programmes with the Jewish community, which has worked really, really well. We're trying to be that voice and that face in the community, that we listen to people and see what people need and what they want, and we try and cater for that. So anything that, whether it's just putting on just an open session for football, or providing a health and wellbeing workshop for somebody, or community yoga, or just a simple drop-in session like today. We try and listen to the community and put on things that they would like. Our social media handles are at Foundation92, or our website is www.foundation92.co.uk.
I grew up in the local area, just the other side of Kersal Moor. Like everyone who's lived around here, broke onto the pitch or played on here as a kid. I used to play football on Saturdays, so didn't come to games, but there used to be the odd Tuesday night game when me and my mates would come in, usually after half time because it was free at that point. We wanted to save ourselves £1. I had a dog, a cocker spaniel called Oscar. I used to walk him around the pitch, and then one day I just thought I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, so I think quick and asked if they wanted any help. Turns out they wanted someone to work on the PA system. So I've got broadcast history, I'll do that. Came that day, got hooked, fell in love with the place, and I've been here ever since. Can't shake me. It's a weird one in terms of, it's almost like a bit of a sliding doors moment in how things change, because when I came, first of all, it filled a bit of a void that was in my life at that time, which was I was struggling with confidence and issues and mental health problems that I've suffered for years, and it gave me a sense of belonging. And it's been really encouraging that not only did it do that, now it's changed and it's become a professional thing, and obviously things are, it's pushed me on my journey as well, so I've got a real soft spot or an affection for the journey that I've kind of gone on at the same time as the club, if that kind of makes sense. The hypothetical dream is this place is full week in, week out with a club that the local community love, but also represents them, so there's that relation. That's the dream. I would like more people to come, more people to experience it, and then more people that experience it, they shape the experience for other people, because it is to do with, it's not just for us to say this is what you will like and this is what you want, we want the true representation. Do you know, again, it's just a little insight you find. There's a moment, I've had a bad few weeks just in life and stuff like that, and I got a call from Gary just asking me if I was alright. And do you know what I mean? You're like, yeah. And we had a chat and stuff like that, and on the face of it was the guy that I worked with asking me if I'm alright and stuff like that. It was only a few hours later, I was just like, what? The perspective of the thing, innit? Do you know what I mean? Here's someone I've watched in World Cups, here's someone I've watched lift trophies through hours and hours.
My name's Paul Eden. I DJ here at Salford City. I DJ in Bucks Bar pre-match, and I've come down here today because I had a bit of spare time, and I've heard a lot about this community hub, so I wanted to see what was going on, and just come down really and have a look around. Mid-season this year, I got asked to do a bit in Bucks Bar, and I've been back quite a few times, so it's always a great crowd in there. Good to have pre-match entertainment. The family's always involved as well. It's good. Me personally, I think it's fantastic, the growth that they've had, and the interest is coming from far and wide now. People are involved in Salford, so yeah, I'm all for it. I've got a 12-year-old daughter, and she's not one bit interested in football, but I brought her down here and she's absolutely hooked, because the environment and the atmosphere, and you are so close to to the pitch. I know Dirty Old Town is the fan favourite, and that's the one that goes down here. You have songs like that which will always be in, but I love the Stone Roses myself. When I first came down here, I was told it's okay to play Oasis, you know, with the United connection. But there's Stone Roses, Oasis, Happy Mondays. But there's a lot of new Manchester music and soulful music. There's a brand new band called The Height that are off the Height. They're only 12, 13-year-old kids. There's 3 of them in it. They actually played in Bucksbar as well pre-match, so it's good to get them down, being local. But yeah, I think it's a great thing. You know, bills and stuff are out of control these days for people. Somewhere warm they can come and get a free drink, meet people. These games on the tables. So yeah, I'm all for it.
I have affection for the Moor because there's so much of it that is just natural, right? It's just there. It's you know, sort of people. Some people are frightened of it because it's wild, and they're scared of being on it. Children could play on it more than they do, because there's some beautiful shaped trees that children should be climbing. Right. Kersal Moor is the end of a glacier, that fed itself into the River Irwell. We thought it was going to be terrible, noisy and crude, and my goodness, they did come. Hordes of people came. They came. The road, the noise from the traffic. On Saturday, the road was full of people, and when they were going home, it was full of people. But they were gone very quickly. They went very quickly. They weren't there for very long, so I couldn't complain really. So I've got used to it now. They have been very respectful of the Moor. We have, because we worked really hard and keeping the Moor clear, no litter being dropped, and you can walk on that Moor and there's no litter. It's unique in the fact there's no litter. There's notice, please don't drop your litter. Nobody does. Everybody takes it to the rubbish bins. So that's been, if you like, counteracted what we thought would happen. And I'm very relieved, because I can see the advantages to those who like football. Not me, but a lot of other people do.
I grew up at one end of Bury New Road and then moved up to the middle bit and then up to the other end, and now I've come back down to this end. So I've kind of spent my whole life around Bury New Road. I'm impressed. It's nice to come in just for a nosy as well, to see. It's nice that they do community stuff like this as well. It's not just about football. That's quite nice. We used to live right at the back of the ground. We've always said that we'll come to a game and we've just not got to one yet. But when there was a game on, the atmosphere in the area is really nice. There's a bit of life and stuff. It's impressive. It's nice to have something like this in the area.
And what about, so they're doing this community hub thing, like this warm
yeah,
hub,
I think that's a good idea. There's a lot of that going on at the minute, isn't there, because of the kind of the climate that we're living in. So it's nice to see stuff like that.
Excellent. And if you got a little message for the rest of the community, what would it be?
Just to get involved with stuff like this more, because it's good to make connections and find out about, people that you might live next door to and not really speak to, or people from different generations and stuff, and see their point of view.
That's great.
It's a great thing.
And how did you hear about this today?
Because I follow the Bury New Road project on Facebook. It's really interesting, all the stories that are on there. I absolutely love it, and then it's led us to go down different little rabbit holes of reading other stuff about it. So I just think it's fascinating. So I thought it'd be good to come and maybe hear other people's stories and why they're here and what their connections are.
I was brought up in Higher Broughton. I went to a secondary modern school. When I was a kid, right, at every corner shop I went in, there was a chair there. So you could sit down and rabbit and talk about the days and everything else. And it's only by conversation, which is the nicest music in the world, that you realise that people have exchanged views with each other. I've done radio work for the BBC, I've done commercial work for independent radio, but I think the proudest thing was, and I don't even have to hesitate here, the day I passed my driving test. Forget all that nonsense about your first baby being born and all that there. No, for me, it was passing my driving test. First time on that day at Julia Street in Strangeways, off Bury New Road, that I got my driver's licence. My second proudest day was in 2008 when I was granted by Her Majesty the Queen the MBE, which I was dead chuffed for. When I was on the radio, I was a patron of no less than 11 different charities. When I went to see the Queen, the equator is in the left ear as you walk in 40 paces across the grand ballroom floor to where she is, and she was stood. She's only about 4'11", and the legs were like that. She couldn't stop a pig in entry. She was a bit bandy, was Lilibet. And the equator is giving her information in the ear, and he said something like, Fred Field, a broadcaster from up the north and that sort of thing. She said to me, "Oh yes, you're the broadcasting chappie from Manchester." I said, "Begging your pardon, Your Majesty, I'm the broadcasting chappie from Salford, a city in its own right." "Oh yes, indeed, and wasn't my husband the patron of the university?" I said, "Indeed he was, Mum, and was I not there on the day of that inauguration in 1967? "Were you really?" I said, "Yes, and furthermore, Mum, in 1954 you drove up Bury New Road in your limousine and you waved to me from the window and I waved back with my little Union flag and you smiled at me. Surely you remember me, Mum?" And she's honest, she started laughing. And when I went out the equity, she said to me, "Chaps like you should come more often. Seldom have I heard Her Majesty belly laugh." Well, it made my day, and I think that, yeah, the only thing that let me down was that my mum wasn't there on the day. Quite emotive. But yeah, that's a potted history.
I've never been here before. They've got a really good ground, and it makes you feel proud that they have something besides the Old Trafford and the Etihad, something local for people to get here, and it's not here out the way. Used to watch the buses go up and down Bury New Road and the judges coming out of the law courts each evening when we was at Waterloo Road School. But it was really enjoyable days. At one time you just knew everybody. All the pubs have gone. That's a disgrace. And Boddington's, which I used to work there in the bottling department. The ice rink on Derby Street, I used to work there giving skates out to the people and the schools when they come during the week, during the daytime. It was really good, exciting days when England won the World Cup. I worked there. We had a really good weekend over it, and so many things was happening around there. I worked at the National Grid, which is the old North West Gas Board, for 30 years. So I've retired now, and I just enjoy going to places like we've just come back from Spain yesterday, me and my wife, and coming back to the cold weather.
If you've got a message for anyone else in the local community?
Well, the community is still here. We're all happy and hope everything's well with everyone.